Why is India Inc. under attack? And what does a recent article in an official mouthpiece of the Sangh Parivar taking aim at Infosys tell us? Are the Sangh and the BJP government, or even different members of the government, on the same page when it comes to private enterprise in India? To answer these questions, we need to take a short trip back in history. Can Babus do everything? What will be achieved by putting the nation in the hands of Babus? That's what Prime Minister Narendra Modi said in February this year, in remarks that were seen as a strong pitch for a bigger role for the private sector in the economy. Back then, he had also underlined that wealth creators were needed, and that is how wealth would be distributed. Then, on August 11, PM Modi said that India was witnessing the strengthening of cooperation between the government and industry. He was speaking at the special plenary session of the Confederation of Indian Industries annual meeting. He had added that all the members of industry were a major part of India's growth story. Just a day later, however, the bonhomie came unstuck when Union Minister of Commerce and Textiles, Piyush Goyal, remarked that many big Indian businesses were overlooking national interests. Ironically, addressing the same body, the Confederation of Indian Industry, Goyal said that local businesses should not just focus on making profits or think of bypassing local legislation. The Commerce Minister specifically said that the Tata Group's objections to proposed policy changes for e-commerce had upset him. The crux of Goyal's argument, purportedly, was that the Tata Group and other Indian companies often lobbied for their interests while ignoring the national interest. While Goyal's comments were streamed live on YouTube, the industry body later edited the video and subsequently withdrew the entire speech. Had things ended there, one could have written it all off as an aberration. But that hasn't been the case so far. Recently, the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh distanced itself from an article published in Panchjanya, which attacked Infosys over glitches in the income tax portal. The publication supports the causes taken up by the RSS and sometimes even goes beyond them. In its September 5th edition, the publication had a 4-page cover story on Infosys, with its founder N.R. Narayana Murthy's picture on the cover page. The article said that there were accusations that the Infosys management was deliberately trying to destabilize India's economy. It dubbed the Bangalore-based company Unchi Dukaan Fika Pakwan, which roughly translates into the English idiom great cry and little wool. It also questioned the IT giant's political linkages. Remember that its co-founder, Nandan Nilekani, had a cabinet rank as UIDAI chairperson in the Manmohan Singh-led UPA government. And the article charged that Infosys might have been part of an anti-national conspiracy to hurt the country's economic interests and give the Modi government a bad name. That Panchjanya published the report suggested that the RSS had endorsed it. However, the organization said it had nothing to do with this article. Certain questions arise when all of this is considered. Is there a split between the RSS and the government when it comes to the private sector? Maybe there is a split within the Sangh Parivar itself. Or perhaps there is also a split within the Modi government. While definitive answers will be difficult to come by, we do have a clearer idea of what might be going on in the Infosys case. In a column for Business Standard, Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay argued that the sentiment voiced in the Panchjanya article echoed the opinion of a wide cross-section within the Sangh Parivar, even within its leadership. He wrote he believed that by permitting so-called autonomous organizations to criticize the not-so-faithful companies, organizations or individuals, the RSS was sending a clear signal to intended groups while evading accountability. Such discordant notes emerging from within the Sangh and the government could have an impact on the latter's broader economic agenda too. PM Modi's first term saw little proactive intervention by the Sangh's economic and labour fronts. In his second tenure, however, these outfits are stalling policies and decisions and claiming credit for it. For instance, the Sangh patronized Kate campaigned against Amazon and Flipkart for imperiling the survival of India's small and medium traders by colluding with multinational giants to plunder our retail market, and lauded Goyal for showing the Tatas their place. It remains to be seen if the recent interventions from within the BJP and the Sangh will impede PM Modi's attempts to pull off a balancing act.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.